This is what the majority of the victims, including the Finucans, have been fighting for all these years. For a truth process that acknowledges the injustice of the past, clears their loved ones' names and enables reconciliation. This was the essence of the Stormont House Agreement and the basis on which consensus was reached. But if we are to achieve this, then I say to the Minister, it is impossible without building that consensus. Everything that has been achieved in Northern Ireland has been achieved on the basis of consensus. The Belfast, St Andrews, Hillsborough Castle, Stormont House and the New Decade New Approach agreements, none of them were possible without consensus painstakingly built across communities, parties and in partnership with the Irish Government. It would be foolish to think that legacy should or could be any different. And ministers committed 10 months ago to find that broad-based consensus on legacy underpinned by the Stormont House mechanisms. So the departure from that approach in March this year caused enormous anger and shock from victims and across Northern Ireland society. Trust in the government's approach has been understandably fractured in Northern Ireland, but we are desperate for the government to get this right. So I will repeat again in public what I have said in private to the Secretary of State. We will help them and work with them to achieve consensus on this issue in a way that respects the Stormont House Agreement and delivers on legacy. There must be no party politics for the Labour Party and for the Conservative Party on this. As co-signatories to the Good Friday Agreement, we feel deeply the duty for Westminster to get this right, whichever party is in power. And it falls to our generation of politicians to take brave decisions and finally deliver on legacy. But I say to the Minister, it's time for the Northern Ireland Office to start engaging. I would urge the government to think extremely carefully about their next steps on this, to work to build that broad-based consensus. Families have had to campaign for too long for the basics that would have been afforded them had their loved ones been murdered anywhere else in the United Kingdom. If we do not resolve this now, victims and survivors will be here in another 10 years' time having these exact same debates, and the people of Northern Ireland will continue to suffer for our collective failure.